Isn't that an eyelash? Yes. Gotcha! Make a wish. Hopefully that comes true. It was a good one. Well, how's it, people? So listen, some time ago I made a video on the entire EPIK process, but still I get countless messages containing countless questions on Korea. And well, as Britney Spears once famously said, I'm a slave for you. Yes, I am, because I'm going to sit down today and answer all your burning questions that you may still have about Korea. I know the August intake is coming soon, so a bunch of you are getting ready to come over to Korea to teach. Totally understandable that you guys have like a bunch of questions. But listen, I told you, I already made a video about this EPIK process. So I'm taking all the questions that I've received, which I didn't really answer in that previous video. So I suggest, if you haven't already watched that video, I'll put it up here somewhere. If editing Sam is not too lazy to put it up here somewhere, come on Sam, you can do it. I know that you're not gonna be lazy, and I know you're gonna put that thumbnail there. Good job, Sam. I knew I could count on you. Go and watch that video, because I've probably already answered your question. Okay, so the first thing I frequently get asked about is how do I manage living in South Korea alone? And what was it like telling my parents that I was coming to South Korea? Firstly, you're not gonna be alone. Right from the get-go. If you're coming with EPIK, for example, you have to go to an orientation right at the start. And right at the start, at orientation, is a bunch of other people who are in the same boat as you. So you're going to make friends immediately. Some of those friends are going to come to the same town as you. If you make friends with people at your orientation who don't end up coming to your city, it's still very, very, very possible to meet up with them. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but the public transport is super easy and super convenient in Korea. Korea is also really tiny, so it makes meeting up with people a lot easier than it is, for example, in some countries, South Africa. Trust me, you'll be busy every weekend. You'll be with your friends, visiting this temple, visiting this site, visiting this city. Like, you're never really managing to live by yourself in Korea. That question is making it seem like you're always by yourself and you're struggling in this foreign country and it's so difficult without mommy and daddy. It's really not. You manage, hey? Without mom and dad, you manage. Trust me, if I can do it, anyone can do it. I came from the most protected environment. I did not think that I would ever survive without my parents, but not only did I survive, but like I managed to do it very quickly. You get here, trust me, you get here and you grow up very quickly. You're forced from the start to pay your own bills, to buy your own groceries, to travel by yourself. And before you know it, you're managing very well to live by yourself in South Korea. But also don't forget, you have your friends, you have your colleagues, you always have like some sort of support system. Also, can I just say, when I first came here, I didn't know how I was gonna survive by myself. But now that I'm here, I really, really, really love living by myself and like doing my own thing. I love the independence, I love the freedom. Now, the other question of how I told my parents. I get asked this by Indian people, especially ask me this question. How did I tell my parents that I was going to come to South Korea? And for me, I think I'm a special case, because I know that generally it's a lot harder for Indian parents to let go of their kid. I don't know why, but South African Indian parents have this issue with their kids going to Asia especially. I'm gonna keep it real here. When you're an Indian kid and you tell your parents that you want to go somewhere, there's a big difference how their parents gonna react when you tell them that you're going to Europe or when you tell them that you're going to Asia. There's a very big difference. When you go to Europe, they're like, oh, Amazing. Go, 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 go. When you tell them that you want to go to Asia, they're like, huh? For what you want to go to Asia? Please, but just forget it. We have such a nice house here. For what you want to go to Asia? Huh? And what you gonna eat there? And I'm only slightly exaggerating that. For me, it was really easy. My parents were just like, go. My mother, I think, was a little bit worried, but she got over it quickly. And like I said, I'm gonna keep it very real with you. My parents had no money, 0 rands, nothing, 0, 0, 0. So it was much easier for them to be like, okay, maybe there are better opportunities for her that side. Let her go. And of course, now that I'm here and they see how happy I am, they are fully supportive. So I think what's better is be completely open with them about the entire process. Do research with them. Show them, open Google and show them what Korea is like. Show them other people's experiences so that they know just exactly what you're getting yourself into. Teach them about Korea because that's the basis of the entire problem. It's because they don't know much about Asia. They just have all these assumptions in their head, what they see on TV, blah, blah, blah. They see, oh, Asia is this big, scary, crazy continent. Meanwhile, you know, Korea is not just like any Asian country. It's a country by itself with its own culture, with its own customs, with its own way of life. They just think Korea, Asia, same. Teach them about Korea, and once they see what Korea is truly like, they'll be a lot more open to letting you go. Okay, August weather. As you can see how I'm dressed and by the glow on my face, it's the end of May and it's already bloody hot. I'm dying. It's really hot for this time of the year. It's still supposed to be like spring now, but this is not spring. This is like full on summer, bruh. Korea summer is like June, July, August. Korea summer is just gross, guys. It's gross. You're just a walking bag of sweat. Even the shade, you think the shade is a safe place. No, nowhere is safe. I know, especially if you're South African, you're like, I'm South African, it's so hot here anyway, I can make... No, guys, you look so beautiful in the morning for school, and then you'll get to school, your school is like a 5-minute walk away, and just in those 5 minutes you're already drenched in sweat and you look like a greasy bag of grossness. Yeah, don't say I didn't warn you. So basically, if you're coming in August, please don't waste your time bringing your coats and things. Bring your cool clothes, and you can always get your parents to like post you your warm things later, or of course you can just buy warm things later. Of course, you can just buy online now. I come from KZN, so our warm things in KZN, they are not even made for this winter. So there's no point in me asking my parents to send me things from home, because our things from home, they don't do anything for Korea's winter, because Korea's winter and KZN's winter yeah, ne? Also, don't get fooled by this. I'm wearing the strappy top because I'm in my own apartment. Korea is getting better, but just remember, like, these strappy tops, you can't really wear them at school or even in public. Like, it's in Korea, it's still like taboo to show your shoulders and of course your cleavage. It is getting better, but still, like, it's better to wear a cardigan or like a t-shirt just so your shoulders are covered. Please, obviously at school, do not wear stuff like this. Always cover up for school. Okay. What else should you bring to Korea? My previous video, I did a video on the South African store in Korea, the Seoul Spaza shop. I suggest you go and visit that website. I'll leave the link in the description again. Go and visit that website. Go and scour that website and see what they have on that website. The other thing I bring from home is my medication, my painkillers, my Myprodols. Nothing works for me like Myprodols, so I bring my Myprodols. Oh, obviously my foundation. I bring my foundation because, surprise, surprise, I can't find my shade here because I'm a very brown person, so it's difficult to find my shade of foundation. Another thing people bring over is pads and tampons. Korea is like very anti-tampons. I think you can find tampons, but like they're not it's still rare compared to pads. They're very team pads here. So I suggest you, if you use tampons and you use a very specific brand, bring those. I love Korean pads, but some girls have an issue with Korean pads because they're bulkier than the ones at home. The ones at home are much more discreet, but they can still handle your heavy flow. Whoo! TMI for our male viewers, but do I give a crap? No. Speed stick is a hard one, or speed stick or deodorant, whatever you want to call it. It's a hard one. I suggest you bring that from home. They have Nivea. They supply you with Nivea speed stick, Nivea deodorant, but other than Nivea, it's hard to find other brands of speed stick. So if you are very attached to your specific brand of speed stick or deodorant, whatever, I suggest you bring that. If you're okay with Nivea, well, then you're sorted. I use Nivea, it's fine. Bras and clothes. I think I mentioned this before, but like, surprise, surprise, Korean people are much smaller built people. So bras, if you're very gifted like me, you're gonna have a problem finding your bra size. So I have to bring bras from home. Of course you can online, and of course there are some places in like Seoul, bigger cities, fine, but I suggest if you're coming for the first time, just bring your bras from home until you are able to find your footing, and then you can search online and do all those fancy things. Clothes as well. It's very hard to find clothes in bigger sizes here because, like I said, Korean people are much smaller people. So when you go into a Korean store, a lot of Korean clothing is like free size. It's kind of like not free size. It's free size up until like a medium-sized person. If you're a larger person, you will obviously find your sizes in like shops like H&M and Forever 21. But in Korean stores, if you're a fan of Korean style clothing, you go into a Korean store, it's going to be hard to find your size. But of course, it's 2019, guys. You can shop online now. It's amazing. I know, the world. What is this world? Also, when it comes to shoes, a lot of foreigners come here and they have much bigger feet, and of course they can't find their size, but of course you can just shop online. Also, if you're coming, don't forget to bring all your memories of fruit, because let me tell you something, fruit here, that's bloody expensive, so you're not gonna buy fruit anymore. So I suggest you bring your memories of fruit. Guys, your TEFL. Listen, I did this back in the day. I did this in like 2010, 2011, and that time they weren't so fussy about TEFL. So like back then you didn't have to have in-class hours, which is basically like a practical component in addition to the theory component. I just did mine online. Also, just Google, hey, there are like a million places to do your TEFL. I'll leave some links in the description to like various places that you can do your TEFL. Also, if you're going through an agency, just ask them. Ask them, who can I do my TEFL through, and they can direct you. I think Busan, they're now like super fussy. They need 50 hours of in-class. I think the GOE program and Busan specifically. So GOE, I think it's 20 in-class hours. I think the rest of Korea, you don't really need the in-class component. Speaking of which, some of you have asked about the GOE, the Gyeongsangnam-do Office of Education. Gyeongsangnam-do is basically, it's a province in Korea. It's exactly like EPIK. It's just that that province basically like governs itself when it comes to teaching. The GOE is a really great program, especially if you don't want to be limited to EPIK's 2 intakes. So EPIK has 2 main intakes. That's February and August. But the nice thing about the GOE is that they do intakes all year round. That's the best thing about the GOE. The one drawback with the GOE is you must have in-class hours. I think so. So you must have that 20 in-class hour component thing. There are pros and cons. I suggest visiting EPIK's website, and I suggest visiting GOE's. Draw up the pros and cons for yourself. It just depends on you and what you want for yourself. Okay, so the other question that I get asked a lot is about the documents. There are only 2 documents, as far as I'm aware, that you need to have apostilled. Oh my gosh, guys, the whole time I've been pronouncing that word wrong. I've been saying apostilled my entire life.
Apostle
are your degree and your police clearance certificate. Your transcripts, your academic transcripts do not need to be, they just need to be sealed and possibly stamped by your university. And where do they need to be apostilled? DOCO, which is the Department of International Relations and Cooperation in Pretoria. Posting things to South Africa and posting things from South Africa to Korea, super easy. Like, when you get to your school, your co-teacher will give you the school's address, the school's postal address, and then you literally just give your parents that postal address. Even if it's written in English, mine is written in English, and still my package is able to come from South Africa to Korea within 10 or 11 days even. I've never ever had a problem with like lost packages. And then posting a package home, you're gonna, same, like you're gonna go to a post office in Korea, you're going to post your stuff, you're gonna fill out a form, and then you're gonna fill out your address and whatever. And guess what, hey? It arrives in South Africa, no problem. The only time you're gonna encounter a problem is if our lovely post office at home is, you know, on strike. Which, you know, that happens at least, what, 364 out of 365 days. Okay, so the last thing we'll talk about is being vegetarian in Korea. Oh boy, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I really love my meat, right? I'm South African, sue me. So I never really looked into this whole being vegetarian thing in Korea until my younger sister came to visit me in Korea recently, and she's a vegetarian, quite a strict vegetarian. That's when I realized just how hard it is to be a vegetarian in Korea. I think I read somewhere online that Korea is one of the worst ranked countries in the world for vegetarians. Vegetarianism is still quite a brand new thing in Korea. Like, meat has always been a huge part of their diet. Like, even the way they classify meat is very different to how the rest of us classify meat. For example, meat in Korea, how they see meat in Korea, it's basically like just beef. Where I'm from, and I'm sure where you're from, meat encompasses everything that is flesh. So you'll go, this happened to us when my sister came. We went to a gimbap place and we ordered gimbap, and I told the lady that she's a vegetarian, so please leave out meat. And she was like, okay. And then we came home, we opened the gimbap, and of course she left out the beef, but like the ham was still there, the crab meat was still there. So like, to her, meat is just the beef. Ham and crab meat, those are two different things entirely. Here, meat doesn't encompass every kind of flesh. Even with vegetarian dishes in Korean cuisine, just because they don't have physical meat in them doesn't mean that they're actually vegetarian. Because here's the thing, in Korean cuisine, the base of pretty much every meal here is made with an anchovy stock or some kind of meat stock. That's how Korean cuisine is. It's heavily meat based. So just because there's no physical meat in the dish doesn't mean that it's strictly vegetarian. So you have to be careful in that sense. I know there are vegetarians who come here and they kind of like make peace with the anchovy stock thing. Like, as long as there's no physical meat in the dish, then they're kind of okay with it. They just like let it go. But obviously, you know, there are some very strict vegetarians out there, and that's not an option, and I get that. So yeah, I think you just have to do your research. I think I'll leave some links to blogs being vegetarian in Korea, and those blogs will have like terms that you need to know being a vegetarian. Gosh, I know, right? I'm so kind. Now, of course, things are getting better in Korea. I noticed that on Gmarket you can now buy like soya patties. That wasn't a thing in the past, but now you can. Also, there are vegetarian restaurants. In Seoul, there are vegetarian restaurants. Not only are there vegetarian restaurants, but there are also vegan restaurants. So things are getting better, but it's still rare. Unless you go to a Western restaurant, you will find vegetarian options. Obviously, at Indian restaurants, of course, you are definitely going to find vegetarian options. If you go to a Buddhist restaurant, you will find vegetarian options. In my small town, you're not going to find vegetarian restaurants, but it's not impossible to be a vegetarian in Korea. I think if you are a vegetarian, and if you are a strict vegetarian, I think the best option is to just cook for yourself. If you're happy to just cook for yourself every single day, then you'll be fine. I know that there are vegans in Korea, so you've just got to do your research, and if you're happy cooking for yourself, you'll be fine. Please don't come here and like complain about how there are just no vegetarian restaurants and how it's not vegetarian friendly. This is how it is in Korea, I'm telling you. So make sure that you're okay with that before coming to Korea. It's changing slowly, but slowly, and it's gonna be difficult for a vegetarian, but that's how it is. And so make sure you're okay with that before coming to Korea. Yeah, hey, I think that's about it. I hope that answers all your burning questions. I hope you're ready to come in August or whenever you're coming, and I hope you're ready for an adventure of a lifetime. And don't worry, like I know that's easier said than done, but really don't worry. Trust me, you're gonna have the time of your life here. You think I've been here for 7 years because I hated it? No, brah. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you didn't enjoy the video, give it a like anyway. Don't forget to follow me on all the social medias, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you don't subscribe to my channel, the boogeyman's gonna come and visit you at night and traumatize you in your dreams, and you don't want that, now do you? And I will see you next time with a new video. Goodbye.